we need to do is up our game, and we're about doing that. We've been through a period of fairly massive reorganisation in the last 18 months. A lot of what we warned and told people was likely to happen has happened. We think people are now more open to the arguments about fairness and equality that the bigger conservative parties, who obviously are acting in the interest of a very small clique, what's called the Golden Circle, we think those politics have been exposed. So I'm philosophical. We also, and you know this yourself, have spent a huge amount of time, years, decades, energy, stamina in resolving matters in the north, or at least bringing them to the point where there can be an accommodation.
But has that sapped your energy? I mean, is that what the problem is? You've used up your energy in solving, from your point of view, the situation in the north, and now you need some new energy for the battle in the south, and it doesn't seem to be there.
Well, we have plenty of energy. Don't be writing us off. Don't make that mistake, Jim. We have plenty of energy as a party. Watch the panel. I'm sure the envy of other parties, the panels of young people coming forward addressing the Ardèche, passionate, informed, articulate about their Republican beliefs and about their belief in the future. So, having said that, I mean, there's a lot being accomplished, and there's a lot more that needs to be accomplished in the time ahead. And the big issue pressing down upon people is the enormity of the economic recession, the hit that middle and lower income families have taken, and the part that this particular Irish government and successive Irish governments have played in that.
But you say people are more open to your message now, though. The polls don't seem to bear that out. If you were right about what was wrong before the last election, they're still not turning to Sinn Fein at this point. They're turning to Irish Labour. Why is that?
Well, I'm philosophical about that simply because we haven't had an election yet. And remember, since the last Ardèche, we had the Lisbon Treaty. And all of the other parties, every one of them in the Oireachtas, asked the people to vote yes. The broad media, the bigger business sector asked the people to vote yes. We disagreed. The electorate agreed with us. Now, more than with us, but we played a leadership role in that campaign.
But anyway, it's a vote that may be rerun and it may get a different result. So it may have been a short-lived fillip for Sinn Fein.
Well, it isn't a matter of Phillips for Sinn Féin. I mean, elections will come, opinion polls will come, opinion polls will go, elections will go. What is needed is a society on this island which does not reward the greedy, which does not enhance the position of the super rich, which acts based upon democratic, egalitarian principles of equality and fairness and decency, which acts in the common interest and in the public good. And there are two debates going on at the moment. One is that debate, which I think we can take our time about, and the other one is how we fix the dreadful situation that's bearing down upon people at this time.
You say you had the analysis right before the last election, and you were completely different to these parties characterised as corrupt, Fianna Fáil in particular. And yet, if you had won more seats in that election in 2007, and if Fianna Fáil had won a couple less, you might well be in government with them today.
Well, we would only be in government, one, if we had a mandate, but also if we agreed a programme for government. We're not interested in being in government just for the sake of it. We want to be in government in order to use that political power to bring about a united Ireland, to bring about the type of positive changes that are required to ensure that, for example, we have decent public services, that we have decent school buildings, that we have decent hospital services, and across a range of what are necessities in people's lives, social and affordable housing. This time, getting Ireland back to work.
And yet in your speech, you're very hard on Fianna Fáil in particular. Have you ditched any idea of Sinn Féin going into a coalition with them after the next election?
Well, the issue of a coalition will be judged, one, if we get a mandate, and two, if we work out a programme for government.
Yeah, but you say you're replacing a coalition that exists at the moment with another one involving Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael would be like replacing Tweedledum with Tweedledee. You effectively are ruling it out.
Well, the Ardèche will make that decision. I mean, what our leadership has to do, and I note that you call this conference. This is an Ardèche.
Indeed it is, but this is the name of the programme.
But, well, maybe that's something you need to look at. But coming back to the main point, the Ardèche will take the decision as to whether or not Sinn Féin will go into coalition. For us to go into coalition, we need a mandate, and we need agreement with other parties who also have a mandate on the type of programme which I have outlined here today. And the core point of that programme is about egalitarianism, it's about fairness, it's about citizens' rights.
Okay, but the change that I detect within your speech is that you're now saying a call out to Irish Labour to join with Sinn Féin. That is a change.
No, we have always, and if you look back through my speeches, we've consistently argued for a mass movement. We've consistently argued for an alliance or a broad coalition of people with the same type of vision for a different type of Ireland, an Ireland which is radically different from the one which we have today, which is divided, which, despite the wealth of the boom years, that wealth was squandered, which has people still in hospital corridors, on chairs, which has, and I can't resist just making this point very, very forcefully, which has at the top a small elite, which is given concessions in money, which is involved in dodgy